Hello and welcome to HawkTalk. It's my Hawks Geek Culture podcast where we talk about geek stuff, nerdy stuff, and all sorts of awesome. My name is Danny Shepard, and joining me, as always, is my lovable band of goons, starting with Noel Shefflin.
What's poppin', y'all? Let's get it. Who it is? I am me.
Jeremy Lee.
Soist.
And Tony Smith.
What do you do, baby boo?
Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's talk some Justice League. We just saw Justice League.
We did.
And,
all separately.
yes.
I'm pretty
All
sure,
separately,
right?
yeah. Wait, did you guys see it together?
I mean, we saw it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
You saw. Oh, yes. You guys traveled to see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This year?
Did you guys see it in 70 millimeter like you planned on it?
Yeah.
Yes. That projection was terrible.
That was an
a
awful
very
projection.
bad 70 millimeter projection.
That's very surprising.
Yeah.
It
I know.
affected the experience for sure.
Yes, it did.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Boo.
And there's also only like 2 or 3 trailers beforehand. I don't even remember what they were. So
Yeah, I
underwhelming.
yeah, very underwhelming. I guess we're spoiled with the Dolby,
Dolby
Atmos
Atmos,
here
yeah, we really are.
Yeah.
in Vegas.
Saw it in Dolby Atmos though?
So I saw it in Dolby Atmos.
We're gonna watch it again in Dolby Atmos.
For sure.
Just to
You do whatever you want, man.
hey, don't tell me what to do.
I definitely didn't.
So for the record, like I think me and Tony have spoken about the film together, but yeah,
In length.
in length.
length.
But I haven't talked to you guys
Yeah,
about it at
and
all,
we've
so I have
talked
no
about
idea
it.
where you
Yeah.
guys stand.
Yeah, so I want to hear what you guys thought of this movie. I want to start with Tony.
Yeah,
actually.
start with Tony. Tony, what?
Most beautiful man in the room.
So I want to break this up in a different way because I kind of want to talk about this movie in phases. So I like maybe start with initial reactions and then like dive a little deeper because this movie had a troubled history,
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
troubled development. Tony, what did you think of the movie?
I mean, overall, I liked it. I definitely don't think, like I said, so for those of you who were unaware of who said what on Twitter, that was me on Twitter, on our Instagram. I don't think I put
The
my
official
name
at Ismahawk Twitter. Follow at Ismahawk on Twitter and Facebook to get a lot of updates on our new projects and also hear us talk about stuff and post pictures and videos and all that good stuff. Yay. Thank you. Okay, continue,
So,
Tony.
I was the one that basically said, "Hey, look, it's not a perfect film," and I meant in the sense of a perfect film as perfect as a film could be, right?
Right.
Because I spoke.
There is no
and
perfect.
There is no perfect. There is only perfect based off of skill set that we are aware of, that we have seen in the past, and experience based off of an overview of the best films made so far. And it's not one of those. It's not a Citizen Kane. It's not an American Beauty. You know,
As we expect.
as-
I mean,
yeah.
as no superhero movie
of course,
really is.
right? Yeah, but I said that it was an entertaining experience. It was cool to see this. I've been waiting for this since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see. I didn't necessarily enjoy the development of Steppenwolf as much as I thought I would have, but it was better, honestly, than I first anticipated it as well. I honestly thought it was going to be way worse than it was. Wasn't terrible, wasn't the best. Wish they would have fleshed out a little bit more, but cool history. They integrated the characters well. And the big one here for me was that, I guess the big pro for me here walking out was like, I know these characters now. If I was someone that didn't know DC and walked into this movie, you now know the kind of character Flash is, who he is, right? You now know the kind of character Diana is, even though she was a little bit different in this film, right? But that's, again, if you haven't seen it yet, which there's a bunch of spoilers in here, guys, so heads up. It's a spoiler!
Yeah, this is a spoiler cast, as in the title.
Yeah, so she had a little bit of a different development here because you could see that she was kind of tormented by her past and her guilt, right? Kind of a different Batman, but still pretty much the same Bruce Wayne, especially when you got to see him talk to Diana the way he did. And then Aquaman, we talked about it a little bit, about how Aquaman seemed completely different when we first saw him in the trailer to what he was in the movie. And I was like, I wonder if that was on purpose.
What do you mean?
So in the trailers, it seemed like he was going to be not a big part of the film. And it seemed like he was going to be a little bit more quiet.
Okay.
But he actually turned out to be, with some of the ways they integrated like the truth lasso.
That part was so
Like they
awesome. That was a great
what they did
part.
is they equaled it out, right? He was totally the tank, but you come to find out through that small scene and other things too that he actually
thrill
does
seeker.
care. He cares. He cares about every person around him. And I'm sure we'll get more of that when we see the Solo movie because he probably has not had the best of paths in the past. And surprisingly enough, I really enjoyed Cyborg.
Dude, Cyborg was dope.
I enjoyed his development.
I like
I enjoyed
Cyborg.
the kinds of things he was going through. The hardest part for me for Cyborg is that I couldn't relate to him, even in Teen Titans and also in Young Justice, where I was just like, War. It's like I don't understand it. But like the way that the actor portrayed what he was going through, and probably could go a little, give it a little bit to writing as well, and the way it was set up, it seemed good. It seemed okay. I could understand where this person was coming from. And that was one of the scariest things. I had a really hard time walking into the film thinking I'm probably not going to like Cyborg. I'm probably really going to like Flash. I didn't know Superman was going to be in it until like halfway through the film, right? Which was pretty dope. But actually not pretty dope. It was freaking amazing. But yeah, that was the tight part. But
Yeah, the part with Superman was
Cyborg was cool. I didn't really like that scene between Diana and Cyborg. Like right off the top of my head, that scene between them just feel like it took away from the movement of the story. Like it was like took a turn. Like
Which scene are you talking about?
when she actually speaks to him, like when they've come face to face. And like it was a cool like they had some really cool banter in there, and you got to see how they were basically going to play off of each other. But I just felt like it was kind of put in a place where something was missing. Like there was a missing part either before or after. And maybe it's a deleted scene that we're going to get to see, right? But I just felt like it was placed in a weird area. Like they could have maybe put it somewhere else and maybe edited it differently to make it a little bit more fluid. But other than that, there wasn't a lot of stuff I didn't like. I actually enjoyed Steppenwolf's like backstory, even though we didn't get a ton from him. I actually enjoyed seeing those other characters in that big war scene. It kind of reminded me of like
the Green Lantern.
Yeah,
cameos.
That Green Lantern cameo was dope.
Was that Hercules?
Those were the Greek gods.
The Greek, yeah. So was that Hercules?
I think that was Zeus who was firing
Zeus?
the lightning.
That makes
I
sense.
think so.
Oh.
So yeah, it was
pretty
cool.
dope.
I mean, I actually did scream out when I saw the Green Lantern.
Yeah,
I was
me
like,
too.
oh! I was
was-
like, damn, man, chill out. My bad.
I was watching it with Angie. Every time I saw a reference, I was like, Janus Cosmetics. Green Lanterns. Like I kept grabbing her and she was just like, what? And I was just like, shh. I'll tell you later.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a few parts, and I feel like they didn't put too many like cameos or anything in there where it was like a little gratuitous. I felt like it was just right. Like we got just enough, and then post-credit scene.
Let's talk about the post-credit scene after.
Okay, but
everything
after the
else.
movie.
let me
after
just
we talk about the
say
movie because that shit was crazy.
that was the biggest reaction I got in that entire
Same.
movie. I was like, oh shit!
Right?
Same.
But overall, like, really cool experience. I'm not going to put, like, my absolute stamp of this is how I feel about this movie yet because I've only seen it once. I haven't seen it twice. I'm probably going to see it again in the theaters in Dolby Atmos again, but I liked it.
Would you give it a letter grade or you're just not ready for that?
No,
number?
I don't. I would
Number
give it, you
out
know
of
what?
10?
I'll give it a B for now.
B?
I'll give it
Okay.
a B. It wasn't, like, I don't know. Like, when first time I saw Avengers, I'm going to be honest with you, it was a cool experience, but I kind of felt the same. Like, it was cool, but there was a few things that just felt a little rushed. I felt kind of like I had a headache after the end of the movie. Like, I was like, this is kind of a whirlwind. I'm a little exhausted now. And same thing with Justice League. Like, oh, wow.
There's a lot.
So, yeah, cool movie, cool experience. If you haven't seen it, please turn this off and go see it, and then come on back. You should go see that film. It's a really cool experience. Spent a little bit too much money on it, I think. 300 million, over 300 million. That's a lot, guys. I know. I mean, it's like, could you
I
have
didn't know that.
spared just a little bit of that? You know, like maybe don't get Capriotti's this lunch. Maybe get some pizza. You know?
I mean, I'm sure those reshoots were
Oh, they're
just
probably
gratuitously expensive.
It's like really heavy.
Yeah.
And the visual effects.
The visual effects. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
you're
whole
right.
other
Lunch probably
conversation.
doesn't account for a lot of that.
I assume it's me next.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the movie twice. I think I'm the only one at this table who saw it a second time. And the reason why I saw it a second time is because the first time I walked out of the theater and I was like, I liked that. And I was really, really broken up about it. On the drive home, I was just like really quiet, just thinking about it. And I was just like, did I like that? And then I started talking to Ange about it, and I'm just like, just talking about all the things that were in it and just like tonally everything. I was like, structurally, the movie made sense. There was nothing that made me go, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Like the sort of plot inconsistencies you found in both Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad because of the recutting and the cutting out of stuff. Like that's why the extended cut made so much more sense and was so much better than the theatrical cut of Batman v Superman. So that was the first thing I thought. Like, okay, it was structurally, it was okay. But my biggest, the most off-putting thing for me, and like people who hated Batman versus Superman would disagree with this entirely, and that's okay. I'm not saying anybody. I'm literally just saying how I felt. But after watching it the first time, I was very confused about the tone. I was like, this was a sequel to Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman. It was so different. It was so different, and people would, because I talked to a few people on Twitter about it, and the conversation went like, oh, but I didn't like the drab tone of Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. I hated those two movies, so this was way better for me. And I said, that's totally cool. I understand that, but my issue is that it's too different. It feels like this trilogy of films will not be remembered well, and I think it's just, at the very least, if the tone was at least somewhat more consistent, it would have felt more like a sequel to Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, because I don't know, I just thought Batman wasn't really behaving the same as he did in...
Batman was a very different.
He was behaving so differently in this one compared to Batman vs. Superman. So I don't know, I thought like tonally it was just a little weird. And so that threw me off like a lot. And it really affected me during my first watch of the film. So the first time I was just like, I started, instead of like just trying to turn off my brain and enjoy it, like I really wanted to, I just kept on seeing all the holes. I kept seeing the flaws in the VFX. And you know, we're filmmakers. We look at footage, we plan shots, all the stuff they do, we do on a smaller scale, obviously, much smaller scale. So like, when there are issues with the VFX, I see it, and I see it very, very quickly. And especially because like Danny Elfman is one of the best composers in Hollywood, but his style is so specific and so different than Hans Zimmer's that I felt it immediately when I was listening to his music. That was another thing that felt like such a big tonal shift compared to the previous film. So my first watch through completely rocked and took me out of the film entirely. So after I walked out, I was like, I thought to myself, okay, I need to see this movie again because I need to watch it. I need to watch it as a fan this time, and I need to see it. I need to just, now that I've seen all the flaws, I need to try to
Now that
just,
you know what it is.
Now I know what it is. Now I know what to expect. I'm going to watch it again. I watched it again, and I had so much more fun with it. So much more fun with it because I was like, all right, dude, this is an episode of Justice League Unlimited. Let's do it. And it felt like an episode of the Justice League cartoon. I was able to kind of turn off my brain and let like this sort of like fanfare music kind of make everything more fun. I tell you what, though, I definitely could see the reshoots the second time I watched it.
Yeah?
Yeah, the scene with Aquaman and Batman, the very first one, where they're in the snowy little tavern. If you look, you can't unsee this. When you watch the movie a second time, you see that the first time you see Ben Affleck, you see his coverage is a certain angle and the lighting's a certain way. And he's a little bit more serious. And this is the shot we see in that first teaser trailer that Zack Snyder showed off. Then it cuts to another piece of coverage where Bruce starts behaving a bit more smarmy. You can see that Ben Affleck's face is a bit more full, as if he was as if he had been in shape for Batman and then he had to come back for reshoots and wasn't prepared for them.
Right.
And the lighting is ever so slightly different, and the angle is slightly different. Like the background, the white was a little bit more blown out, a little bit brighter, and I could tell that this was two different.
Two clearly different days.
Yeah, these are two clearly different days of shooting. And I feel like we've done that and we have footage that looks like that. And I can see that when we do it. So I noticed it. And especially like you can notice that Ben Affleck's, his performance in those scenes, in those shots specifically, is less serious, he's a little bit more smarmy and a little bit more, making a little bit more jokes. So I don't know. It was hard for me not to notice that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, I had fun with it. What'd you think? What did you guys think?
All right, so I guess we'll go with me since we're going in order.
Yeah.
So I loved Barry Allen. I thought The Flash stole the movie. I think he was absolutely the best part. Anytime Ezra Miller was on screen, he was so captivating, and he stole the show. The scene where he's talking to his dad the first time, and like he could barely make eye contact with him, I was just like, this is beautiful, dude. Ezra is amazing.
I wish we got more of that scene.
Me too, man. Me too.
I'm guessing we're getting in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted to see Ezra throw his chops around, dude. That guy can act.
Oh, yeah,
my
he totally
God,
can.
That fool is
And like you
such
could
a good
see him
actor.
scratch the surface in this movie.
Oh no, he was holding back. Like I could tell the director's like, pull it back just a little bit.
Pull it back. You're too
let's
Not that kind of
pull it
movie
just
yet.
like pull it back just a tiny bit, just because it's coming. Let's just wait off just a little longer.
I also liked Cyborg. I thought he was dope. I did not enjoy this movie, guys, and I really, really wanted to, and I was really trying to. But the first shot of the movie completely took me out of the movie.
My heart dropped.
Yep, at like the very first shot, that iPhone footage shot of Superman, and you can tell that this is the reshoot because of the CGI on his face. I was just like, sucks. And like from the entire way through, I was completely out of the movie, only criticizing the movie. I could not enjoy it at all.
That was a very interesting decision to have put that shot at the beginning of the movie.
Very beginning, yeah.
Yeah, especially because there was nothing else like that anywhere else in the film.
For me, I thought they were gonna go back. I thought they were gonna do like a full circle kind of.
I thought
thing
they were
where-
too.
They should have it. It would have sold
That's
that
why I was like,
moment
okay,
better.
I get to see that again. Like someone's gonna have that on their phone, and I'm gonna get to see it again.
Right, I'm gonna
And
get
I
the
never saw it
context or
again, so
something.
I
But
thought I
it was just
almost
extra.
I totally agree with that. Like I was like, okay, that was interesting. I'm not gonna be judgmental about it.
Yeah, the entire time I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna come back to it.
Different, but I don't know if that's something I would have done. But okay.
But like they looked at it and they know that the CG isn't perfect. Like it's almost impossible to get perfect, and yet you're gonna open up the movie with that shot.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
I don't want to be too harsh on this movie.
Mhm.
Absolutely can be, but I will put this next to Batman and Robin as one of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen. I really did not
Wow,
enjoy
that's
this at
really
all.
harsh.
Yeah, dude. I like.
I really, really recommend
I want to see it a
seeing
second
it
time.
again because the first time I watched it, I was criticizing everything, and it's because in my heart I knew that what I was watching wasn't the way this movie was meant to be.
Totally.
And like, I don't care if you're a Zack Snyder purist or not. If you don't like Zack Snyder, that's fine. If you love Zack Snyder, that's also fine. Like, at the end of the day, like this is if someone went into one of our projects, we shot it, and then they went in and then they reshot everything. It's like, it's sort of a Frankenstein's monster.
Totally.
And
And
the
it's-
fact that it's as good as it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I would agree with you. Absolutely. Like it's there's not one person to blame. This movie was just like a mess from the beginning. So and
Yeah.
I kind of knew that going in. And I was able to enjoy certain things. Like I really enjoyed the chemistry between all the actors, all the characters.
Yeah.
I really like I said, Flash was amazing. It was nice to see Bruce Wayne not as like an evil man as like he was in BVS.
I think they should have split the difference with him.
Yeah,
I feel like he was too.
I would agree. No,
Here-
I don't disagree at all. I agree with that. And and another thing that stood out to me that was really weird, like that, was Wonder Woman's familiarness, closeness to Superman when she was trying to save him. I'm like, you spoke like 3 words to each other and then he died. I'm just like, why do you feel so attached? I don't know. That part felt weird to me. But
I the Superman part, like everything with Superman in the movie, I gotta say, because I forgot, I feel like I just harped on it, but I gotta say this, the resurrection and redemption of Superman was absolutely my favorite part. And if you ask me which Justice League member was my favorite in this movie, I found myself surprised to say Superman.
It was good to see him smile. Even his suit was brighter.
It was brighter, but like the way he was behaving is just like he's like, oh man, he's like I don't want to die again. And then he gets blasted on the ground and he's just like, oh, never mind, I want to die.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, dude.
Thank
okay,
you.
yes. Then when he's like, all of a sudden he stops and he's like, civilians. Batman's like, flashes on. He's like, no, there's too many. And he just,
Yeah.
and just dips out on the fight. I was like, yes.
That's Superman.
Superman would go save the civilians.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, like that was the one thing where I was like,
I will say they got Superman right in this movie.
they got
for sure.
Yeah,
that
that's
is
dope.
a huge A+.
I would agree.
Because they haven't gotten Superman right in 4 movies. This is the
right.
first one
they
they've
finally
gotten.
got him right.
They haven't gotten him right since Superman 2, in my opinion. So this
Dude,
was
that moment when the Flash was running and then Superman just turns
Dude,
and looks at him.
that
I'm
was-
like, oh
that
my
was super
god,
that
that
scene
part-
was
his
sick.
part-
it's
like-
about to go down.
Just turns around like I was like, oh.
No, I
You
just
can
love how
see.
it was so subtle. Like they let them like look straight for a second, then you just see his eyes.
Yep.
Move.
And then he turned.
Damn.
And then,
and then
his
you see
face
his
is like,
What the heck?
He's like, done.
no way.
He's
So-
like dodging and that part was super dope.
So-
He's like tripping up.
yeah.
Jeremy, what did you think?
I did not like the movie at all.
Yeah.
But I love the way the characters interact with each other.
Right?
That was the single redeeming thing about this whole movie for me.
Justice League 2 will be awesome.
Oh, it better
That would be dope once they finally get everything in line, you know?
Yep.
Just pick a direct Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins,
Patty
please.
Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins for
Patty-
Justice League
Patty-
2.
Patty
Everyone, make a petition. Patty
Patty
Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins for like the entire DCEU.
Patty Jenkins.
I mean, dude, she's proven that she is
I mean, I wouldn't mind
incredibly
that.
competent.
Yep.
Yes. And that was her first foray into the DCEU now that she's gotten experience with it.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole movie, I'm just like, nothing looks right to me.
Cinematography and editing was
Everything
so
was
strange.
just so off. And I think part of it, or it could be that the bad projection that we saw it on amplified the flaws or covered some of the flaws.
Honestly, I feel like seeing it in Dolby Atmos when the screen was as sharp as it was and the audio was as pristine as it was made everything so much more noticeable for me
I was already
because it was
noticing.
crisp.
Yeah, I can see that.
Makes
Dang. But like it looked like a really expensive fan film.
Ouch.
Yeah, a
Little bit,
$300
yeah.
million fan film. I don't know, man.
That's another reason why I thought it was kind of cool. I thought it was kind of neat is because during my second viewing, I watched it as if it was a fan film.
Okay.
And
I can see that because it even feels like a fan film. It feels
Yeah.
like it was laid out like an episode of a web series or an episode of Justice League Unlimited. Even the shots,
feel
like
like a cartoon.
specifically the epilogue at the end or whatever, like with
Oh yeah.
those vignettes of Wonder Woman saving civilians or whatever, and you know, like all those series of events. It looks like it's shot and set up like a frame from the cartoon. Like
Yeah.
because cartoons try to save time on TV, like network TV, by giving exposition through like vignette style photographic shots, so that you can kind of pick out all the information in just one frame without cutting too much. And that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd like a 3-hour.
Although I will have to say, all the shots that were on either on location or on a set, like no CG at all, looked incredible.
yeah,
The
yeah.
cinematography for anything that even had a little bit of CG in it, like it didn't look right at all.
I think it's because the VFX house just did not have enough time to finish
Yeah.
this movie with all the reshoots.
No one had enough time.
Yeah,
to finish
no one
this
had
movie.
enough time for anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not blaming anyone.
No,
like
of
it's like we couldn't do it.
no one
could
have
do
done
That
that.
movie, if you, that, oh, man, that would take like 3 years.
I mean, they had 3 months. One of the VFX artists who worked on the film posted something on Twitter, like this entire like thing about like people's complaints about the visual effects and was like, hey, these were the stipulations we had to work under, guys. Like, just so you know, like, it's not our fault the VFX weren't up to par. We did everything we could. This is what we had to deal with.
I haven't slept.
Yeah, they were given 3 months to
I haven't slept in 7 days.
And then there are a lot of shots of like Wonder Woman and Aquaman interacting, and the whole background looks like it was like they just wrote it out the characters because they shot it on location at the intended location for the cut, but then the story changed or something changed and they had to change the location.
Oh,
but they could
Jesus.
still use those shots. They had to like it looked like they wrote everything out and then put in a new background, and it didn't even match.
Yeah. I feel really bad for the VFX team who like, because they're getting a lot of crap for this, and it's not their fault at all. Like,
Danny Elfman's score, I really like the score, just not in the movie.
Yeah.
I can listen to the soundtrack like on my phone, like in the car, like, oh my god, this is awesome. Danny Elfman finally like coming back in this universe. But then you watch the movie with that score in it, and I'm like, I don't know how to feel. Also, there was like no main character to follow.
I didn't know who to follow, dude.
It was a jumble to me.
It's just a bunch of things happening. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, it was like one scene is, okay, this needs to happen in this scene, and then it gets us to this scene, and it happens, and then this happens. But there's no, like, why did it happen, or, like, feeling why it happened, you know? There's no time to
It
breathe.
just felt like, Danny said it the best, it just felt like an episode.
Yeah, it was just back to back.
It felt like we're missing something, right? Like I feel like there's a big gap here that I'm missing.
Yeah.
I think
And I felt
it
like
was
that
like-
with
yeah.
a lot of the scenes. It's just
It's
like,
a lot of jumping around and a
what?
lot of gaps.
okay, got it. Let's do it.
Anyway.
Like for me as an actor, I'm just like, let's do it. All right.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Anyway, I love The Flash. I really like Cyborg, but I had one issue with Cyborg when the argument thing with his dad. Like, I don't know. I wasn't buying that argument. I can see where he's coming from, and I get it, but you're being really irrational right now.
Which
Unless
What are we talking
when
about?
he was stuck in the apartment, like he didn't want to leave the apartment
yeah.
or whatever, and he's arguing with his dad. And okay, maybe we're not seeing the whole story, or you know, part of the dialogue or part of the scene was cut out, and we don't get that context. But like, it just felt like he was not overreacting, but like just that's not the Cyborg I know.
they didn't give enough context for what happened to Cyborg, and you watch the trailers and you see
Like
that
if
they
you were
cut
just
out a lot.
if you were just watching this movie without seeing any other movie, what happened? You don't know what happened.
Yeah.
They didn't even like recap anything.
Yeah.
But I still like Cyborg as a character, like as a character interacting with the other characters. Batman. I like Batman. What was I saying? Superman, freaking awesome. Finally.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman felt very different.
She did.
It felt like it was not written
By the same writers.
by the
that
same
did
writers
Wonder
that
Woman.
did Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And
Almost
you
like-
had
yeah,
something
it's
to say
almost
about that, right?
That was pretty much it.
Like she said things. I can't remember what lines, but like as she's talking, like all of her scenes that had dialogue in it, like sometimes I'd be like, that's not what she would say if it was the Wonder Woman in. But then
Yeah.
there's a time gap, and she could have changed a little bit as a person. I don't know.
I also thought Batman was, like, especially when he was grilling Wonder Woman during that scene in the hangar, he was being uncharacteristically harsh. Like, he was being childishly harsh, not, like, he's like, I know, he's just like, you're just not over your dead boyfriend,
Yeah,
but
it's
you
like-
could totally be over. And I was just like, Batman wouldn't have phrased it like that. Batman would not have, Batman would have, like,
Batman is more tactful.
He
Yeah,
would've-
because it's unnecessary.
he would have been stern with what he was trying to say, but it would have been with such tact that you can't dispute his him
logic.
being right. Yeah, you can't dispute his logic. And it felt like Batman wasn't smart in this. Like he was smart, but he just said things and did things that were un-Batman like. Like when he was talking to Aquaman, he's like, you do talk to fish, don't you? And I was just like, Batman wouldn't have asked that question.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have asked it like that.
Yeah.
And like, I hate to be that guy who's like, oh, I'm the Batman purist, but like, I don't know. It
really didn't feel like Batman.
just didn't feel like Batman.
And I didn't even believe it when Ben Affleck said it.
Yeah, I didn't believe it either.
Yeah.
And I think it was just, again, product of the reshoots.
Mm-hmm. Ezra could have said that. Or the Flash, sorry. I get the characters and the actors mixed up because they're so good at them.
But like overall, for me, it was really enjoyable, and I think that the future of these films is brighter because of this. It's okay, this did what it needed to do.
The things that I did like and the things that I saw that I liked, I know they'll take it. Like, if they keep taking it and running with it, like, the future of this universe would be freaking awesome.
You know, actually...
And the bad things are just a product of the mess during production.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
Yeah.
Product of the production. Like, the VFX, product of the production. Also, Steppenwolf being so weak, I called it from day one. I feel like you could probably go back into the podcast and see it. I was like, they cast Steppenwolf as the main villain, this C-level, D-level character. Like, they literally are just putting Steppenwolf as the villain because they want you... They just need some throwaway so they can focus on the heroes.
I actually am confused as to why he was there and what he was doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I missed that or if they didn't do that in that movie.
Dude, I feel like if this was... That's another tonal inconsistency I thought I saw when I watched it, because I was like, they built this up in Batman v Superman. They definitely gave us the hints that this was coming.
Right.
But it didn't feel connected because of the
didn't.
way that it was done. Felt visually and tonally different than what we saw in Batman. Like, Batman versus Superman was like a very dark, and like, yeah, maybe that wasn't appropriate, but maybe that should have been the link that was consistent.
At least in the first half of the movie or something. I don't know. Like it didn't feel like a segue. It just felt like this movie's dark and this movie's super bright.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk about that everything with Superman again, though?
Yeah.
Because that's
holy crap.
The Superman
that
stuff gets me so
cool.
jazzed. I walked out of the movie and I was talking to some friends at work, and we were talking about the Superman thing, and that's the moment when I was like, because I was really down in the dumps about how I didn't like it because I wanted to like it so badly. Everyone knows that out of everybody at this table, I wanted it so badly, so badly. So it felt like when I was talking to some friends at work and I was talking about the Superman thing, that was the moment when I realized, no, I like this more than I think I thought I did. Because I think I thought I did. Just because the moments with Superman were so good that if there is a standalone Superman film,
With that Superman?
Superman, I'm
board.
all in. You're not gonna have to worry about the mustache, the CG removal. Like, everything is just gonna be there. And this is like, this is the foundation that a good Superman movie is built off of.
Yeah.
The foundation.
I will watch it again.
Same.
Please do, guys. I would love to hear what you guys think after a second watch through, because I'm telling you, the second watch through, everything, like, the production issues don't go away. You're not gonna not see those because we just are too close to it.
But I'll gloss over it.
But you're just not gonna care because now you already know they're there. You know?
Fair enough.
I, more importantly, out of everything, am the most excited for the Flashpoint movie now.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
Seeing all the characters in this and how they interacted with one another, and then seeing a Justice League movie basically from the perspective of Flash. That's also, I think, how they're going to be able to recast Ben Affleck, because I feel like
Batman has been confirmed that he's going to be in Flashpoint, so I wonder if that's going to be his last movie, like Batman's last movie. I'm sorry, Ben Affleck's Bat movie. Ben Affleck's last movie.
Last movie.
Ben Affleck's Bat movie.
It's confirmed that Ben Affleck's Batman is in the Flashpoint movie, but the whole movie?
I'm telling you, well, he wouldn't be, like, Thomas Wayne would be Batman in the entire movie, right? So it would start with Bruce Wayne and it would end with Bruce Wayne, the way that the comic and the movie, in the animated movie do, right? They start with Ben Affleck, and then when Barry goes back in time, he screws everything up. Then after, at the end of the movie, he fixes everything, comes back.
And it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
And when Batman pulls off his mask, he's Jake Gyllenhaal. And then Flash is like, whoa.
You're Jake Gyllenhaal.
He's just like...
You look exactly like that dude from Brokeback Mountain. What the heck?
What? He pulls off his mask, and Barry Allen's like, whoa, who are you? And he's like, very funny. And then he's like, and they have that interaction. So they address the recast,
Right.
And the Flashpoint movie retcons the recasting, and you can get away with it and make it a part of the story instead of just glossing over it and pretending like.
Oh my
nobody
god!
noticed.
What if they
okay with
make
that.
the entire story different after that? It's like
They
remember-
reset it like X-Men.
like they actually made it like original, and like Batman versus Superman never happened, and like Suicide Squad never happened.
Cool.
Yeah,
X-Men that. X-Men that.
yeah. Technically, Wonder Woman still would have been canon because it took place
Way
before the events of
before.
Flashpoint. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah.
Let's
Okay
do
with
it.
I'd be hella okay.
Just make
with
the
that.
movie.
What'd you guys-
I'm concerned about Aquaman though, because, or actually, no, not concerned isn't the right word. I'm just wondering if the tone of the character for Aquaman in James Wan's Aquaman is way different than how this was done.
Is Aquaman pre or post Jeff Johns?
I think it's both.
It's post.
Okay.
So Aquaman. So because Wonder Woman was the first movie that was like
In the middle of production.
in the middle of production, and Justice League was also in the middle of production. So I think Aquaman is the first one that's like Jeff
Okay.
Johns is.
It's
yeah,
post,
but then
I
it's
think
also
gonna
in
give
the
us-
middle of like the whole fiasco with Justice League too. Like during the reshoots, they started production after the reshoots were. Yeah, actually, no, you're right. But then, would that mean they changed the script or the writing for Aquaman?
I think they might just. I don't think they need to change the writing. I don't think they need to change the script. I think they just need to change. I think Jason Momoa's line delivery just needs to be.
performance.
Yeah, he just needs to taper his line delivery more to what he did in Justice League. But I think it should be the same lines. And I feel like if Aquaman behaved a bit differently and was a little bit more edgy, just a little bit more in Aquaman, I would be totally fine with it. Because I think he was an edgier Aquaman in Zack Snyder's original vision.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Dude, the
Why
way
would you have cast?
Aquaman moved underwater, dope.
Yeah.
He's a pretty edgy.
The way he
character
just
in
moves
general.
in general, dope. And that trident riding the Batmobile.
Wasn't that like a quadrant? Like
Quadrant?
it was 4, wasn't
It
it?
was a quintrant. I think there was 5.
Okay.
yes,
The
they call it
scene-
the trident.
The scene between Mira and Aquaman, I don't know what that was. And if
I did
anyone
not hear a single
Yeah,
word they said to
does
each
someone-
other.
Can someone recall that for me?
Yeah.
I did not. I did not hear a single word that they said to each other.
I will paraphrase.
Okay.
Because the first time I watched that entire segment unfold, that entire him going to Atlantis, I was like, wait a minute, what happened there?
Same.
So it sounded like Steppenwolf's energy came, like portal or whatever, came down, hit the boat, went down
boom
through.
tube?
Yeah, his boom tube. Yeah, went down through the boat and like damaged the ship. Aquaman popped up, saved the guy. The guy's like, oh my god, it came out of nowhere. Then he was like, huh. It went straight down to where Atlantis is. I should check this out. Went, chugged a bottle of whiskey, smashed it on the ground, and then
Blew through frickin'
jumped into a
ports
tidal
of
wave,
waters and waves.
and then went down to Atlantis to find, to see what's going on. Then Aquaman says, "Hey, the fight breaks out or whatever." After she creates like a air pocket or whatever where they can talk in, right? He asks her, or he says like, wow, you took a hell of a hit. That was pretty badass or something like that. And crap, what did she say? Something about him straddling both worlds, just like like
She's like,
knowing
basically
his mother.
yeah, just basically kind of getting to the fact like, hey, you can't keep doing this. Obviously, like, what the hell what was that? You know what it kind of reminded me of?
What was the the conversation about?
Yeah,
like
that's what I want to know.
It was about him claiming his right to the throne.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
Basically,
Oh.
like
You can't keep running from this. I understand.
So his mother is already gone, and he
Yeah.
is next in line for the throne.
yeah, he's next in line for the throne, and then he says like, I was left on the surface world. They basically just in about 5 lines talked about Aquaman's origin story to give you as much as you needed to
Gotcha.
to move forward.
It was basically like, well, that's the thing too. Now, was it always like that? Was it always that the mother was from Atlantis and his father was a human? I thought it was the other way around.
I honestly don't recall. Honestly, I'm
So
not
apparently
a
that's-
huge
that's-
Aquaman reader.
That's what me neither. That's what the story is. Apparently, she was from Atlantis, and he was probably some.
Yeah. So that
fisherman.
was what their conversation was about.
Basically.
Pretty much.
It reminded me of Aragorn.
How did it leave off?
Aragorn.
How did it leave off?
He said, I'm gonna need something from you. And that was his armor and trident.
Oh, that's
And
what
then-
was implied.
yeah,
I did
he was-
not get any of that.
He was basically like, okay, now I have to get involved with this, and he was like, okay, now that I have to get involved, roughly, I'm paraphrasing, obviously.
Now that he has to get involved.
Needs a trident, needs his armor. Got his armor, got his trident. Next time we see him, he stops the tidal wave from
Yeah.
killing them in the sewer.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool.
Which that moment was dope.
That fight scene was cool. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I like Flash's arc in that fight scene.
Yeah.
And
Anytime the Flash moved was cool.
oh my god, his VFX were
They spent all that budget on his lightning.
yeah, dude, harping on the VFX, but you gotta give him credit on Flash's VFX. They are so sick. Oh my god, those
Yeah.
effects are so cool
Yeah.
for the Flash.
Dude.
The way the lightning looks around
Yeah.
him.
So
oh
dope.
man, and
Dude, when he Wonder Woman's sword and
Yeah.
then she
that
caught
was
it.
Such a
Dude,
cool moment.
anytime we're in his perspective to see the way the world slows down for him, I like the way the footage looks normal and then it slows down, but then you see the waves start forming and then the lightning starts arcing. And to him, he's just moving normally.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
The VFX on the Flash were freaking awesome, but
Anytime he smiles with the suit on, it's just, you're like a little kid.
Yeah.
He looks so young.
he's likable, and I think I'm more excited to see how he's handled by himself.
Me too.
You know, I think he's great opposite of the other characters because he is like this little kid. He's like the kid on the team where he's just like, oh hey, oh we're the accidents. Like
That's the first scene with him and Batman, with him and Bruce. That was a cool ass scene.
Yeah.
Where he throws the batarang at him. That was hella dope.
So
He's
I
just
like.
that acting. He's just like you just see him's like, I don't know. I just really like his acting in that. Very
what'd you guys think of that the first post credit scene?
So right as it happened, I turned to Jeremy. I'm like, I knew we should have done that video, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should have totally done that video.
But that was hella cool.
Yeah.
That was hella cool. I think that's the two post-credit scenes were my favorite part of the movie. Possibly better than the movie.
that second post credit scene.
I
was
Yeah.
I just saw the
Saw
that
that
first
and
shot.
and I was like,
and immediately you were
my
like, "That's
head-
Wilson. That's Slade Wilson."
I was like, what is that? What's that? And then you just see it it's like a cross, like the boat's moving, and then it goes in the light, and I was like, oh shit!
Same.
I yelled out. I was like, oh hell no! And then everyone was, shut the fuck up. My bad. Dude. Your brother was sitting next to me. He can attest to that. I was
Nice.
like, oh hell no!
I grabbed Angela and was like,
I like seeing Lex a little bit calmer.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Right? I turned to Angela when I saw Deathstroke and I was like, that was one of the smartest decisions I think that DC has made with their films in adding Deathstroke at the end of this movie, because you're not going to end it. Deathstroke is relatively mainstream. Obviously, you got to be sort of understanding of the superhero genre as a whole, but if you understand it at least even just a little bit, then you know who Deathstroke is. And seeing him at the end of the movie is such a huge win. You get all the fanboys on your side because everyone loves Deathstroke. He's such a good villain. He's such a
great
good character.
Do it right.
I mean, Joe Manganiello is awesome. So I'm really, really stoked to see
Yeah.
him.
True.
Oh, he's awesome. Super nice guy. Very intimidating.
Super nice guy. Very intimidating.
Very large. Doesn't smile much.
Really? Looks like he smiles a lot.
No, when I saw him.
Really? That's funny.
Sounds intimidating.
So do you think they're leading toward Suicide Squad versus Justice League, or do you think they're leading toward Injustice?
Injustice.
Me too.
That looks like the Injustice League because it's Lex at the forefront. Injustice League. I hope they don't call him the Legion of Doom. I think that's a
me
bit
too.
of a dated term.
Legion of Doom.
The Legion of
Oh,
Did you guys ever watch the Super Friends?
yeah.
And it would cut to like, and back at the headquarters of the Legion of Doom.
Oh, man.
Amazing.
What is the next order of business? All I want is a pair of pants. A decent pair of pants. Anybody who watched Cartoon Network back in the day gets that reference. Solomon Grundy want pants too. All right, I'm done.
Great.
Awesome.
Okay.
We should do a live action version of just in that style.
I'm down.
I'm super down.
I have no
Work
context.
on my Adam West style.
Great.
Batman.
Perfect.
The Bears.
Yeah, bears. Again, I think I'm just really excited to see where the universe is going to go.
I am too. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I have hope.
Noel, are you going to see it again?
It's not going to get any worse.
Absolutely. I would
Ouch,
like to see it
dude.
again.
I'm excited.
So you're going to see it again?
Yeah, I will see it again because the first time I saw it, I was watching it as a lover of films, and when I watch movies, when I go to the movies to watch a movie, like Hollywood or theatrical release movies have a certain standard that you already expect watching because it's like from major studios,
Mhm.
Right.
from professional filmmakers. So if you watch something and you notice something wrong, then it's an issue.
Yeah.
At least from me. When you're watching stuff on YouTube,
agree.
yeah, there's plenty of issues everywhere. We're just we're all indie,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't pay attention to that when watching online videos and stuff like that. But when you go to the movie, especially paying for a ticket, like going to see this in theaters,
High quality.
yeah, exactly. It needed to at least hit a certain bar.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you guys will like it the second time around.
I think I'll
you'll
definitely
more.
like it better the second time
Me too.
around.
Yeah, just because it is a fun romp.
It is what it is.
What now? Are you guys kind of? Because I'm kind of curious to see what this original,
Oh,
what the original cut was. I know we're never gonna get the chance to see it, but do you
With
guys
the
think?
original vision.
Yeah, like, do you guys think that they're gonna put out an extended cut?
I sincerely hope so.
I don't think. I don't
I'm
know, man.
pretty sure they'll put out an extended cut.
Yeah,
They should put out the original script.
I'm
I wanna
really,
read that.
really curious to see what Zack Snyder's cut looked like.
What Zack Snyder's cut would have looked like.
Would have looked like, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure if it would have been better.
Yeah, me neither. I'm
worse.
just curious.
I'm just really, I just want to know, what did you have in mind for your movie? Because this clearly isn't his vision. I mean, I think I saw something on Twitter where he said he didn't even watch the movie yet. He hasn't seen it yet. At least at the time of that.
Well, I'm sure
Wow.
it's going to be hard for him to watch.
Yeah.
I'm sure it brings back memories.
Yeah. And also still dealing with death in the family, it's a lot. Yeah.
I liked it. It was cool. I mean, it needs some tweaking up. I gotta tighten it up.
Yeah.
And hopefully they do that with the universe. But either way, I'm still a huge fanboy. So I'm subjective. I don't care what you guys say. I liked it,
Good, man. Hey,
Yeah, I don't care
Okay.
what you say either.
dude. It's like,
obviously.
did you guys have a favorite part?
Let's see. Yeah, my favorite part was the first post-credit scene.
Yeah.
That was easily my favorite part. If
Yeah.
I had to pick like a favorite part of the actual film itself, it would probably be the scene where Bruce and Barry meet for the first time.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, you didn't see that in the trailer, did you?
Yeah, no, I didn't. And then I watched the trailers again. I'm like, first of all, there's a lot of shots in the trailer that were not in the movie.
Yeah. A lot. I
Yep.
think they counted like 20 or 30.
Yeah.
Damn.
But they showed that scene, like that. But basically, that whole scene played out in the trailer. I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't see that beforehand because that was
Yeah.
one of the few scenes that I really
Yeah.
enjoyed.
Yeah.
When Superman woke up, it just went ham on everyone.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Ham sandwich.
Ham Sammy.
What about you?
My favorite part?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
The toughie. You have a favorite part?
Yeah, while Tony's thinking, it was same as Jeremy when specifically after after the fight began between the League and Superman, and like after Flash got involved, like that moment was just as a fan, it was really cool. Like
Nice,
that was
dude.
just a really fun moment to see, to just watch the Justice League fighting against a rogue Superman. It was
Actually,
cool.
My favorite part was the intro to Wonder Woman
Yeah.
Yeah, the bank
in the
heist.
beginning. That was a cool. Like I loved the symbolism of her standing on the Statue of Justice.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called,
Lady Liberty.
Lady Liberty. I was like, oh shit, that was cool. That was a cool experience.
Yeah.
I'll have to give that my favorite.
The way she moved in this movie was
Oh,
really
yeah,
cool.
she was
So
quick.
sick.
With the quickness.
She was like
Ooh.
zipping when she was blocking all the bullets
Yeah,
from
that
hitting those people.
moment
She was
was-
like, "Choo, choo, 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 choo," and then push the guy out of the way.
Yeah, dude. So good. What a hero.
Like that
Yeah.
was awesome.
That was crazy. I was like, oh man, woo, hot.
A lot of the action was pretty sick as a whole. But yeah. All right. Well, any final notes before we bros out?
No.
Close out.
No, that's it, man.
All right.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
And that's the way the skiddly doodlies. All right. So, yeah. What did you guys think of Justice League? Leave a comment below. And hey, if you disagree or agree with our opinions, let's keep it civil, guys. No,
Be nice to each other.
just because someone doesn't like the movie doesn't mean it's a personal attack against you. And because someone liked the movie doesn't mean they're stupid or anything like that. Let's all be nice to each other. I know Zack Snyder movies bring out a lot of
Opinions.
a lot of
Passions.
passion,
Yeah,
a lot of passion from people. So one way or the other, it's passionate answer. So yeah, let us know what you think. We'd love to hear. Make sure to check us out on Patreon. We got a lot of cool stuff on there.
Yep.
Cool rewards, and yeah, follow us on Facebook. We're trying to grow our Facebook, so go follow us on there, and follow us on Twitter. I'm at Danny Lachette. Tony's at Walk on Tony. Jeremy's at Jeremy Lee with 3 Y's, and Noel is Noel Chef. We're also on Instagram. Same for everybody except for Noel. He's now ew.
I am now
ew.
ew. I am currently ew.
Now ew.
Good.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, I guess that's it. I guess
love
that's
you.
it for today's show.
We love you.
I guess it's over now.
I guess that's it.
I guess that's
I
it.
guess that's it.
All right, guys.
But wait,
I have
first
to go.
post-credit
I love
scene.
you. I love you. Post-credit scene.
just
Deathstroke
kidding.
walks in, kills us all.
Yeah, we should
Lance shows up and oh my god!
leave a
guys.
comment below if you want to see or hear Ismahawk post-credit scenes for HawkTalk. You just have like these entire things happen at the end of every episode of HawkTalk.
It's like a full feature-length film. No. All right.
Find Spider-Man, or I'll peel the flesh off her bones. I can't keep thinking about you. I want a life of my own. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Really likes that
I mean, I started from the middle, but I should start from the beginning.
from the middle now.
Na, 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 na. I believe there's a hero in all of us.
We don't have to do this.
Gives us strength, makes us noble. But sometimes we have to give up the things we want the most. Parker, you're late. Where were you? You're late. Always late. Where you been? Looking for you all morning. Fuck, man. It's been a long time.
we
been a-
didn't have any expectation of you.
It's been a
knowing
long
this.
time. I'm really sorry, guys. I used to know it beat for beat, but it's been a while.
I'm
and
honestly glad that you're
I'm gonna start from the. I'm gonna start over again.
Oh, okay.
You look good. Yeah, before I thought there was something I had to do. I don't have to. I like seeing you tonight, Peter. Now on to the main event. Some sort of crazy scientist turned himself into some kind of a monster. 4 mechanical arms welded right onto his body. All right, I'm good. I'm ready.
great.
My own. I'm Spider-Man. No more. Doom, 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 doom. Okay.